Well, happy Monday again, everyone. This is Bryan Devore with the Devore Realty Group, Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, California Properties, here with another Monday market moment. Hope you had a nice holiday weekend, whatever holiday you may celebrate. And let's jump into it. Of course, we're going to talk about the latest stats, some interesting stats to look at this week. The market tracker report, and we'll dive into a couple interesting tidbits of information there. DIY projects that hurt resale value, and finding the most profitable home improvements you can make to your home. You might be very interested in this. All right, the totals. Right now we have 2,246 homes on the market. That's an increase of 10 from last week. Meanwhile, we have 3,273 properties in escrow. That's an increase of 43 from last week. Months of inventory is still the same, 0.75, so still less than a month of inventory in San Diego County. Over the last week, we saw 988 homes come on the market. That's a big decrease of 94, almost 10% fewer homes came on the market last week than the week before. That's a big reversal in what we'd seen over the last few weeks. New pending 690, that's a huge jump of 60, almost 10% increase in the number of homes that went into escrow versus the week before. New pendings listed within the last week, 54, about 8%. And then new pendings listed within the last 2 weeks, 508. So 3/4 of the homes that came on the market, that went into escrow, were only on the market for 2 weeks or less. And then the number of total sales last week, 542. That's down a little bit, 6 versus the week before. The median list price of $9,000 from last week, $846,000. Meanwhile, the median sales price is up $10,000 from last week. $880,000 was the median sales price of the 542 closed sales. Average days on market 11, down 2 days from last week. So kind of a big drop in the number of days it took for homes to sell that closed escrow last week. The least expensive sale last week, $19,000, again in our friendly neighborhood of Borrego Springs. $19,000, it's pretty inexpensive. It is a manufactured home. And then the most expensive sale, not a very expensive sale, relatively speaking, $6,050,000 in Encinitas. It's very different than the $19 million from the week before in Rancho Santa Fe and others as well. Here's the new listings, new pendings, and sales over the last week. We saw a dip in the number of actives that came on the market versus the 2 previous weeks, but the number of pending sales increasing, number of closed sales down a little bit, and the prices are up across the board. And we can see we're pretty much at the highest point we've been in median sales price and median list price too. All right, the market tracker report. This is provided by Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, California Properties. This shows single-family detached homes for last month in March. And we can see month to date, March versus last March, and then year to date, last year versus this year. And new listings down almost 1% for month to date, down almost 4% year to date. Sold listings down 6% or so, and the year to date over 7%. You can see the median list price and sold price up across the board, both month to date and year to date. The median days on market, we don't always look at median days on market. We usually look at average days on market, up a little bit. And then the average days on market about the same month to date, down a little bit year to date. List price to sold price ratio is up across the board. A couple interesting pieces of information that this report does provide that a lot of others don't. Properties for sale, sort of the brackets, the price brackets. And we can see the biggest by far is between $500,000 and $999,000 list price. That's a big range, of course, $500,000 to $1 million. But what's interesting here is we used to see just a few different bars, but now we see a ton of different bars for over $1.5 million, over between 2 and 3 million, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and 5 million plus. We hadn't seen that broken out in quite a while, but the number of properties that are for sale in the $5 million plus category, big jump. We can also see in this graph the properties sold in units, and just wanted to show sort of a trend line from April 9th of 2019 to March of 2022, the last 4 years. And you can see how it was starting to increase. Number of sales went down, and then of course COVID, and then they just spiked right up, came down towards the holiday season, which is kind of normal, and then up until again the holiday season of last year. We're starting to see the increase again in the springtime. Listing inventory and number of sales. I always think this is interesting. You can see the total number of sales versus the listing inventory. Up until the pandemic, they were relatively closely tracking, and then it just skyrocketed, number of sales versus listing inventory, and it's still way above. List sales are way above the listing inventory, which is why we have the huge imbalance of supply and demand. All right, 8 DIY projects that'll make your home much harder to sell. These are things you don't want to do if you're ever thinking about selling your home. Now, I'm not going to list all 8, but I'll give you the top few. Adding wallpaper. Not a good, not a good idea for resale value, because you may pick something that someone else doesn't want, and wallpaper isn't always easy to take off. Painting a floor, not really a good idea to do anything like that. If you want to have wood floors, keep it the wood floor. You don't necessarily want to paint it pink or blue. Removing a closet or turning it into something other than storage. So maybe making it into a little office space. Not always a good idea when it comes to resale. Replacing all your kitchen cabinets with open shelves. We've seen that before. I've had clients who have done that. Open shelves or tossing out your kitchen cabinet doors. Keep your kitchen cabinets the way they are if you're thinking about resale. For your own use, it's great, no problem. Just keep that in mind though, if you do want to sell your home at some point in the future. Okay, and finally, this is the most profitable home improvement. These are actually the most profitable home improvements, but the number one, hardwood flooring refinishing, gives you 147% return on your investment. And that's the biggest by far. New wood flooring is 118%. So if you already have wood floors, refinish them for profit when you're looking to sell your home. If you don't already have wood floors, you may want to consider putting them in. Insulation upgrade. Now, this is a nationwide study that was done, and you can read the full article in the Constant Contact email. This is provided by Realtor.com. Insulation upgrade, 100%. Maybe less in areas like San Diego than in places like Wisconsin, for example, where my sister lives, and insulation is way more important. Basement conversion, we don't really have those here. Some homes do, but not a lot. Closet renovations give you a pretty good return. Attic conversion to a living area, 75%. Complete kitchen renovation, 75. Bathroom renovation, 71. Kitchen upgrade, 67. Adding a new bathroom, 63, and adding a new primary bedroom suite, 56%. So these are some of the things you might want to think about when you are looking to add profitability to your home. That's it for this week's Monday Market Moment. Hope you enjoyed the information. If you have any questions, of course, give me a call, send me an email, what have you. If you want to subscribe to the Monday Market Moment, where you'll not only get the video, but all the articles that I thought were relevant and interesting for the week, go ahead and do that as well. Hope you have a wonderful and safe Monday and week, and I look forward to seeing you next week in the next Monday Market Moment. Have a great day.